Bonjour et bienvenue à tous. Good afternoon and welcome to today's DNA Lunch and Learn webinar, Experts in Business Solutions. Today's webinar is all about a modern and state-of-the-art ERP solution that's already recognized as a market leader. I'm talking, of course, about Acumatica. Before we begin, please remember that you can submit questions at all times using the chat room, and that we'll try to answer all of them in the Q&A at the end. Si vous préférez soumettre une question en français, n'hésitez pas à le faire dans le chat et on tentera d'y répondre à la fin de la session après le démo. For the people here who are not familiar with DNA, let me give you the 30-second version. Basically, on this call, we have myself, Michel Sommer, and Will Booth. We are the account managers at DNA. We are joined today by Paul Dubuque from Acumatica. He is the expert who will be giving us the Acumatica demo a little bit further down the road. A little bit about DNA. We're an Ottawa-based firm with bilingual consultants in Ottawa, Montreal, and Moncton. We've been providing turnkey solutions for a little over 30 years. I'd like to personally point out that we've got two strong specialties, being helping small, medium enterprise who have legacy systems that are no longer suitable to meet their requirements, and migrating them to a more enterprise-wide ERP solution. Also finding industry-specific third-party solutions to meet some very unique and particular needs within that enterprise. We currently service about 450 clients, mainly in Eastern Canada, and we are both Sage and Acumatica certified partner resellers. On today's agenda, I'd like to review some of the trends that have become part of our daily lives and explain how Acumatica is addressing these new realities. We'll talk a little bit about what some industry analysts are saying, what makes Acumatica different and unique, and why over 8,000 organizations so far and probably close to 1 million users love the Acumatica solution. This will be followed by a roughly 20-minute demonstration of the solution by Paul, and we'll wrap it up with a Q&A session to answer as many of your questions as possible. We've all gone through a personal digital transformation over the last decade, maybe without even consciously noticing all of it. Most of us are probably doing electronic banking, depositing checks with our phone, transferring money electronically, reading our news online, using tablets and cell to replace effectively phone, cameras, calculator, recording devices, and more. It's all around us and mostly good. Except, of course, when I see somebody texting while driving, that's one of my pet peeves. Companies are doing the same thing, or they should be. See, we should no longer be printing and walking a report over to someone, but use email, websites, social networks, collaboration tools. We automate the creation and distribution of information according to business rules. We should be digitizing paper documents and store them in electronically, submitting timesheets and expenses using our phone and tablets. So this digital transformation has changed us in more ways than we probably want to admit. Did you know, for example, that people today looking for a software solution will make the first 60% more of their research on the web before they even contact a vendor? Your clients are possibly doing the same, so it's a good thing to embrace the new digital relationship in order to thrive. However, modern technology is not the silver bullet on its own, and of course, we must realize that we need to update our people and their processes to make sure to make a real impact. First launched in 2008, Acumatica Cloud ERP provides the best business management solution for digitally resilient companies. It was built for mobile and telework scenarios, and I'm told that we can't see my screen. Let me try and fix this. I apologize. And my apology, we'll keep going. So I was talking about Acumatica, first launched in 2008, and it aims to provide the best business management solution for digitally resilient companies. It was built for mobile and telework scenarios and easily integrates with collaboration tools of your choice. Acumatica is meant for growing small and mid-market organizations and delivers on the following points. Connected business. everyone in the organization having access to the information they need, sharing and collaborating across the enterprise and with the outside world. Rapid integrations, the ability to integrate with other digital investments you've already made or are considering, and users getting up to speed quickly on this new software. Remote collaborations, access anytime from anywhere on any device, encouraging remote collaboration and increasing productivity across the board. Business resilience, ensuring a continuity of operations by quickly adapting and delivering modern technology solutions with an easy growth path. And future-proof, open source software and architecture that ensures the ability to embrace new technologies and requirements in areas, for example, as security, two-factor identification, AI, biometrics, or more. This is how we future-proof our business. Now, when an organization is looking to migrate to a new ERP solution, they need the learning curve to be simple and easy for all users. Acumatica's modern UI and flexible workflows are consistently ranked highest in usability by many industry analysts, such as Nucleus Research. We're very proud of that distinction, and you'll get a feel for it in the upcoming demo. Always available on the device of your choice, built-in user guide for self-paced learning as roles and requirements evolve. Another testimonial from industry analysts out there that love Acumatica and what they consider its strength. For example, PC Magazine Editor's Choice chose Acumatica 4 years in a row as the best ERP, Cloud ERP, and manufacturing solution. Gartner and G2 Crowd rank Acumatica highest in customer satisfaction and usability. The user find it easy to get used to and love the breadth of the product. Hearing what the industry analysts are saying about Acumatica is important, of course, but I think it's more relevant for us to look at why an increasing number of mid-market organizations are choosing Acumatica to take them into the next decade or more. So I'd like to tell you, or to give you the 5 top reasons why Acumatica is so much gaining traction in the market from a company and a user's point of view. First is access anywhere from any device at any time. Acumatica is browser-based and delivered through the cloud so that your business can follow you wherever you go. Imagine, for example, you're starting your day by looking at your phone or your tablet and get a dashboard type 10,000-foot view of the enterprise key indicators so that you get a sense of what your day is going to be like. Or just before taking some family time away from work, you take out your mobile device and you go through some approvals waiting for you to be reviewed, or maybe answer CEO or VP's request in real time for an update on some company metrics or performance report. So we're really talking here about the ability to access any data from anywhere at your convenience without limitations. And before I hear an objection, of course, all of this needs to be controlled by precise access restrictions based on your role in the company. Secondly, access to information is great, but making sense of it is even more crucial. So Acumatica starts by offering 3 levels of tools for you to generate the views of the business you want to see and share. But also, whether you're using Acumatica's existing tools or already embraced a fully integrated third-party app, such as a Power BI, a Nectari, Velixo, or other, you have the flexibility of choice to get to the information you need. Thirdly, another key reason why organizations choose Acumatica is for its open architecture supporting the connected cloud. See, a large number of us have already begun choosing cloud-based applications for a specific need, and the challenge is to make sure that these individual solutions will all be connected seamlessly and be easy to navigate. You may have already implemented tools like Office 365, maybe Salesforce, Adobe, DocuSign, maybe you've got a Shopify web portal, Power BI, or other tools, and you're asking yourself, how will you knit these various cloud-based applications together? Well, understand that a large number of cloud-based partners have already seamlessly integrated their solution with Acumatica, and this list that we're looking at grows every month. But in addition, Acumatica's open architecture and APIs lets you or your developers integrate with those cloud solutions not already on the list of partners, as well as ensure that you'll be able to adapt emerging and future technologies such as AI, machine learning, and more. Another key reason in Acumatica's success is the flexible deployment option. Public or private cloud, the choice is yours to make or to remake based on your business and existing infrastructure. There are no multiple year lock-ins or termination penalties of any kind. Cloud portability means flexibility of deployment at all times to match your regulations or IT approach. This is a huge differentiator and pretty unique to Acumatica because of the flexibility, but without penalties or constraints. So far we've covered some of the key advantages of Acumatica: born in the cloud, anytime, anywhere, any device, the connected cloud, and flexible deployment options. If you're still just a little bit warm, let me throw some gas on the fire and tell you on the next slide what else is really, really unique about Acumatica's offering. See, at Acumatica, it's our belief that every employee should be able to contribute to or benefit from the business management system in which you just invested. Authorized people should be able to access, create, and receive the information they need to drive the business, regardless of who they are, whether they're employees, contractors, external vendors, partners, or customers. With Acumatica's flexible licensing plan, you only pay for the computing power you use. What I mean by that is that Acumatica does not charge a per user license. Think about this for a second. We instead favor a modern, growth-friendly licensing on a pay-as-you-go basis that you can grow and shrink with your business. Our pricing is designed to be stable and predictable, and will never buy your business with an artificially low introductory rate. So how much resources you consume on the infrastructure of your choice determines the license fee. And we'll even go one step further and adjust license fees based on seasonality. If, for example, your business sees a huge spike during the holiday rush, say between October and February, when your consumption goes up for 4 months of the year, while the other 8 months stay at the regular lower fee. I don't believe, and I'm pretty sure on that any other company out there offers this model to recognize seasonality of businesses with no user-based licenses. What a concept. Now, that brings us to what Acumatica offers. Now, let's spend a few minutes before the demo to give you a sense of the breadth and the depth of Acumatica. Let's start with the core of the solution, which is a series of integrated modules which offers the functionality required by all business. These main modules are financial management, inventory management, project accounting, payroll, CRM, and field service. And the key here is that Acumatica's solution is this collection of connected cross modules that range from initial project to inventory and manufacturing process and even field servicing. It's a complete solution that allows you to move across any or all of these modules with a pervasive CRM in a single uninterrupted workflow. This is an area I think you're going to see where we really shine, and you'll get a glimpse of it during the demo. Now, when I'm talking about interconnected modules, don't think that they come bare either. For example, the financial module is not just a GL, AR, and AP, but it includes all these crucial components right from the start. I'm talking multi-company, multi-currency, deferred and recurring revenue, fixed asset management, and more. So solid, complete modules for a robust core solution. In addition to the core modules presented in the previous slide, Acumatica goes one step further in offering intelligent business functionality with the mission-critical capabilities specific to industries such as field service, commerce, construction, distribution, and manufacturing. For example, the distribution edition will have additional functionality for sales and order management, warehousing, handheld device support, shop floor data collection, while the construction, quick change of slide here, while the construction edition will go much deeper into the project planning, scheduling, and management. It deals with subcontractors, specific payrolls, and more. Commerce Edition, for example, will provide B2B, B2C integrated web store with the financial system, will present accurate and client-specific pricing and inventory to the online customers, POS solution integration, and more. What's great about this for companies like DNA is that it allows us to pick and choose the very specific functionality each of our clients truly needs to deliver a complete, tailored, enterprise-wide solution. Having implemented the specific solution to meet your requirements, Acumatica and its partner reseller DNA will make sure to provide total and ongoing support to make the project a complete success. See, right from the start, you get local first level support from us, DNA, and second level support with Acumatica's 24/7 technical services, all as part of the solution. And the cherry on the cake, free training using the Acumatica University online courses that you can make available to all your users to, of course, speed up the initial implementation, but also the ongoing keeping up to date with new releases in the future. I call that an all-inclusive solution. Lastly, we aim to provide an ethical, customer-centric solution, and it's easily summarized by the Acumatica Customer Bill of Rights, our promise to you in writing. For example, a simple and no-nonsense approach that guarantees a win-win solution and a long-term relationship between the client, DNA, and Acumatica. So, for example, a simple end-user license agreement that will not be modified many times a year, a non-proprietary, flexible open platform, consumption-based pricing capped at a low 3% annual increase. A 0.7 seems obvious, for example, but with many cloud-based ERPs, you're never really sure if you can get access to all your data at any time without additional costs or get a restore as a specific date or time. You think that would be a universal point, but it's not. And this is not an issue with Acumatica because we believe the data is yours and remains yours. 0.9 and 10 refers to the business model we believe best serves the customer for support. And that's simple. In summary, let me remind you how Acumatica Cloud ERP provides the best business management solution for the digitally resilient companies by delivering on these key points. Everyone in the organization having access to the information they need, sharing and collaborating across the enterprise and with the outside world. Connected business delivered. The ability to integrate with the other digital investments you've already made or are considering. Users getting up to speed quickly. Rapid integrations delivered. Access anytime from anywhere on any device encourages remote collaboration and increases productivity. Remote collaboration delivered. Ensuring continuity of operations, adapting to new realities and trends, and delivering modern technology solutions with an easy growth path. Business resilience delivered. And lastly, open source software and architecture ensures the ability to embrace new technologies and requirements in areas of security, identification, AI, biometrics, and much more. Future-proof, delivered. And that is what Acumatica is all about. You've listened to a quick overview of the solution, but we want to give you a taste of what the user will see when they open Acumatica. And my colleague, Paul Dubuque, will give us about a 20-minute overview of Acumatica, just really enough to whet your appetite. And again, feel free to submit any questions you may have in the chat box for the following Q&A session. N'hésitez pas à soumettre vos questions à travers le chat. Nous y répondrons après la démonstration par Paul. So Paul, I'll make you the presenter and confirm that we can see your screen.
All right, thank you.
And yes, we can.
Okay. And are you seeing the Acumatica screen, just to confirm?
See a nice sailboat on the water, Paul.
Oh, nice. Oh, not seeing the right screen. Uh-oh.
There we go.
So are you seeing the Acumatica screen? I just want to confirm.
No, still see the sailboat.
Ah.
I think that's Johnny Depp, by the way, on the boat.
Oh, is it Johnny Depp out there? Ha!
I think so.
Here we go. Now I've got it. I picked the wrong one.
There
All
we
right.
go.
That's
All good.
good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I'd love to tell you that that's where I'm broadcasting from, but it is not quite as glorious as that. So I apologize, picking the wrong screen. All right, so welcome everyone. Going to give you a quick high-level overview of the product. It's fairly simple, but let me give you the nickel tour, if you will. We're going to start way over here. I'm logged in as the administrator, so I like to log in that way. I get to see a lot more things, get to do a lot more things. But just know that most users are not coming in as the administrator. They're going to see the data and the access to the areas in the system that are appropriate for them. So if there's someone in accounting or accounts payable or receivable or shipping, they're going to be focused on the areas that you determine are the most appropriate. So I have access to a lot more information here. And speaking of access, you'll notice in here, I have a number of different companies and branches that are available to me to select from. Again, you control who you have access to any of those, but just know it's all part of one system that's inside of Acumatica. As I go all the way over to the left side of the screen, you're going to see a list of different menu options that are available. So anything from manufacturing, we talked about one of the additions is manufacturing. Sales is part of the system. If I select into one of those, you'll notice there's additional menus that you have in here. Now users can go through and say, all right, I don't want to see all these options. I just want to see customer sales orders and customers. And you can put that little star over here. And now when I come to favorites, we're going to see sales orders and customers. Same thing if I went to purchasing, I want to see my vendors and I don't know, maybe I want to see my purchase orders with a big button in there or something. And we can go ahead and look at that. So now I've got my new purchase orders and I've got my vendors. All of those are available. The goal here is to know that you can see and control the environment that you're working in, and you can really configure this user by user, and it doesn't take any special code or special skills. It's just that fancy little star that sits next to these. So if I decide, you know what, maybe vendors aren't my thing, or maybe leads aren't my thing that I want to work on, I can go ahead and click out of those, and next time we go to favorites, they're gone. Very easy to modify any of these screens. And just remember, as users, you get to configure which users see which types of information. I've talked a little bit about the favorites here, but another key feature is is the universal search. So a lot of times you look at systems, you say, how do I get the information that I'm looking for? Maybe you're brand new to it and I want to look up items inside the system. So I just typed items in here. You'll notice that it shows any menu item that has the word item in it. A little redundant in the phrasing there, but these are all the different programs inside of Acumatica that have items that are listed in here. If I want to see any of the transactions, these are all the transactions in the system. So not just the menu option, but the data that actually has the word item listed in there or whatever I've typed in. If I'm newer to the system or I'm working on a topic and I want to get a little more help on it, this is where you can also look at any of the help topics. I just typed items. It tells me all about hierarchies, matrix items, all sorts of things, how to sell them, how to purchase them, how to set replenishment values. All that information is just at your fingertips by just typing items in the universal search. And it's just a matter of drilling in here and getting more information. And not to be outdone, there's also a thing called files. So anywhere that you've attached a file, whether you drag something over from an email or on screen and it was a PDF brochure or a copy of a sales order, a purchase order that you attach to one of the documents or business places inside the system, you'll have access to any of that information. So you'll see the words items listed in here all over the place, and it's just a matter of clicking on them. Most of these are pictures, but it really could be any type of document that you see important. I also keep going back to this home page up here. I like the home page and I like the dashboard in the home page. The home page is a great way to get back to wherever you're commonly working on. We saw the favorites, but let's go back to that one screen. So if you're someone that's in shipping and you're always redoing shipments, so maybe the shipping screen's your home screen. I like to look at customer views. I like to see all the pretty colors, but I like to see all the information in the dashboard. So with that, you can drill into any of this information. You see me move my mouse across here. There's different types of graphs. There's some bar graphs. There's some KPIs or key performance indicators that are in here that you can set, and you can set the colors, whether it shows red, green, blue, yellow, whatever color is appropriate. There's a couple of other different graph types in here. There's lists of information. And not only do you see the information, you can act on it. So if I click into these opportunities, it's going to give me a list of all the opportunities that are out there that made up that metric that we were looking at. Now, that's really nice to see here. We've got a few extra colors that show up. This tells me that I've got some dates that are a little bit old and I need to address those. So it's highlighting anything that's in here, as well as some missing information. So maybe it's not key that I don't fill it in, but I want to be notified. So you can configure any of these screens to show the information that's important to you, whether it's a date, a number, missing information. All of that is at your fingertips. You can also drill into any of this information by either clicking on the opportunity or whatever we searched on. There's also something called a side panel in here. So I'm going to click over to the side. There's, just as it sounds like, it's a side panel. Comes up in the same screen. So as I select different pieces of information from this list, it refreshes that side panel. This keeps you focused on whatever you're working on. You can do all the work you need to do, whether it's in opportunities, whether it's in purchasing, whether it's in accounting. All of these have these side panels that you can work interactively. Keeps you focused. You don't have to research and do the search again and go back to which one was I on? Was that the third or the fourth one? Nope, you just keep walking down the list, make the changes that are appropriate, and do all the things that you want to do in here. You also have the ability to, in most screens that have a list of information, to sort or filter on any of that information. So in this case, I'm going to look at the value in here, and I'm just going to click in here. I'm going to say it's greater than, and let's say 100,000. I want to look at my big opportunities in here, and I'm going to say just give me those. And we've got a handful of them. So instead of hundreds of records, I've got 7 records that I want to focus on. So again, you get to focus on what's important to you. You can see you can save these in here. There's a little save button, and that would add it up to the top. So maybe I want to save all those out there, or if it's just one of these that I want to do a quick search, find that information, and I'm done with it, I'll just move it off the screen, and I'm right back to where I was. So really easy to navigate and very easy to drill into the information that you're looking for. Now, we've seen a couple of the navigation points in here. We've looked at the graphs a little bit, or the dashboards, I should say. And by the way, you can modify these. I mentioned that. There's a quick little design button. Most users will modify these to their liking. I want to see this. If my opportunities go below, X numbers or dollars, you can have it highlight different colors. So you have full control over that. Let's take a look at creating a sales order to show you some of the interaction that we have in here. So I'm just going to sales orders, and I can look at all my sales orders, but in this case, I'm just going to say, let me create a brand new one in here. In this case, it's going to open up the sales order screen, and right off the bat, I see the top of the screen. I see some summary information. Down below, there's going to be some details. There'll probably be a table of that information, but I'm going to quickly enter a sales order. So I'm going to enter just 2 letters, and automatically Acumatica is starting to filter out what I'm looking for. Doesn't matter if the AA that I typed in there was the very beginning, was somewhere in the middle, or at the end of the whatever I was looking on. It's going to call that up and bring it right to the forefront, so I can quickly select that. Makes it easy to search. Now, if I wanted to do a more complex search, I certainly can do that. You saw how we did the filtering. All of those are still available and applicable here as well. So I've got this customer loaded in here, and it loads the information in that came from CRM. So if you're using the CRM portion of the software, it's going to keep all the information from that customer, put it right into the sales order, so quickly you can access all that information. I'm going to come down to the bottom and add one single line on here. So I just hit that little plus. I'm going to come over, and I've got another item that I've got to start with AA, and it's going to be a laptop. I'm just going to select that laptop. It's going to fill in some information. You'll notice it already has a price in here. But what if we ordered, what if we ordered 4 of these? Well, if I ordered 4, it's going to change that price. Goal here is to let you know that, yes, Acumatica can do volume pricing, so it can configure and meet all your needs of how you sell products, whether it's by discount or changing prices. A lot of flexibility there. So you'll notice it updated this, but it also updated the total of the sales order. I'm going to come over and just say, let's put some shipping information in here. And I just clicked over to that shipping tab. I'm going to shop for some rates. So if you're looking for rates for UPS or FedEx or whomever you use, there's a number of places you can go to. I'm going to go and pick, let's see, whatever's the least expensive. Looks like FedEx is the least expensive for this location. I'm going to select that. It's going to load that in, and we're going to come back to that in just a moment. So we've got this sales order in here. I'm going to hit save. It's got that sales order. It'll give us a sales order number 6675. We see that right up here. We're going to now ship this out. So from one screen, I can move from sales to shipping. Now, in reality, a lot of you as customers are out there saying, nope, it's not the same person doing the sales order that's doing the shipment. You could go out and look at a shipping dashboard, could look at a shipping console, a lot of ways to get there. I'm just getting here in a quick fashion to move from one point to another. So more than one way to get there, clicking ship, create shipment, and it says, yep, let's ship it today from that warehouse. It's going to go out there and start creating that shipment. It hasn't completed it yet. It's ready for shipment. I'm going to confirm the shipment at this point. So at this point, I'm going to say, yep, we're good to go. We've loaded up. I've verified that's what I've got in here. It's created the shipment. Before I go too far from here, I'm going to go and look at the packages. You notice that it added a tracking number in here, and I'm going to drill out, and we're going to even look at the label for this. So I told it was FedEx. It tells me where it's going to send it. It gives me the packing slip, or the label that goes around the box. So if I needed to resend that out again, it's available. It's all out there. That makes it very easy to move from one point in the system to another, keeps that continuity. It shares that information. You just heard, how are we integrated with other data sources out there? There's that digital integration right from here. And here we can prepare the invoice and complete the whole transaction as we wanted. Very, very simple to do. And we can say, yep, it's released. And we've got that out here, and it was all completed. So we've created a sales order, we've did the shipment, we even invoiced it, and yep, there's probably different people in the organization that handle some of those, but very quickly you can move through the system by just a couple of simple keystrokes to process that order. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to take a look at this from my phone. I have an iPhone in here, and once that pops up, all right, I'm going to say that's good. So I've got my iPhone in here. We'll open that up, and yeah, we'll scroll over. Oh, we got some Facebook and some LinkedIn activity, but let's go to the Acumatica app. So the reason to go here is to show you that not only can you use Acumatica on a tablet or an iPhone, and you can use it in a browser, just as was described earlier, it's available in a browser, but we do have applications that run on both iOS as well as Android devices. And the benefit there is it starts taking on some of the attributes and functionality of some of those tools. So in this case, I'm going to use the face recognition. So it's a face that my mother said only a mother can love, and it looks like my phone likes it too. So it opens up the application, it brings me in, it lets me log in just using that facial recognition, and you can see all the different areas. And again, I'm in here as the administrator, so I have access to all of it, whether it's expenses, approvals. So if I'm a manager, I can approve those expenses, events and leads. So if you're a marketing person going out there taking care of things, cases if you're doing support, transactions for time cards, sales orders, business accounts. My goodness, everything is that you saw in the previous screens, just about everything there is available here, as well as dashboards. So you can even look at some of those dashboards we looked at right from here. But let's take a look at a sales order. So we just took a sales order moments ago, and it was this particular sales order that's there. I'm going to open it up, and we can see that it's in here. You can see this, the details to it. It's completed. It's that quick. It's already synced up. It doesn't need to do any extra synchronization to move data between one system and another. It's looking at the same exact database. So if I create a brand new order right from here, and I say, yep, that's my customer, and I'm going to go search for that customer, I'm going to pick the same one. We'll give it a different description in here. We'll say mobile order. If I can spell it, we can do that. I could use the voice recognition. That makes it a lot easier so I don't mess up on the spelling as often. And we're going to hit save, and we're going to create a line on here really quickly. So we're going to go look at the details, and we're going to add something. And I just hit that little the little plus, and here's looking for the inventory item. So we're going to search. I'm going to pick this Lego set. So I like Legos. It's midday, need something to do. I'm going to pick 2 of those. We'll select that. We'll say, yep, there's our extended price. We've got that loaded up. We've got a quantity of 2 in here. I'm going to update and save the order right from here. And at that point, I'm going to stop sharing. So I'm going to stop mirroring anyway, I should say. So I've turned off the mirroring on my phone. I'm going to go back to sales orders and look up sales orders. I should see an order in here, brand new order that I just took. It was 2 of them, and it says mobile right in here. It's 2 of these Lego sets. So that well connected. So whether I'm doing something in a browser or whether I'm doing something on my iPhone in this case, or your Android phone, or whatever other device you like to use, all that information is instantly accessible everywhere that you're using the system. So with that, I'm gonna hand the controls back to Master of Ceremonies, and I'll be here for any questions if you have any at the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Paul. That was a good quick overview of the product in a nutshell. Let me just share my screen again. There we go, we're almost there. And hang on a second, I'm having a little difficulty here. Share my screen.
Now you can share.
Now I can share.
Now I see you, Mike. I'm going to share.
There you go. If you're wondering if I was live, that is live.
You'll make
And
yourself the presenter, yeah.
yes, show my screen, and I'm gonna do
There we go.
this.
I see your desktop. I
And
see your
switch.
presentation. Yep.
There we go. So thank you again, Paul, for this quick overview. Of course, we just gave you a very, very quick summary. And if I back up one slide, we're going to talk about the Q&A. I'm looking at a chat box. In the chat box, we've got a couple questions. The first one I'll take on. It says, how do I figure out the license pricing if it's not user-based? The original estimate is actually based on the highest monthly business transaction. So for example, a sales order, an AR invoice, a PO, an AP bill, vendor payments, etc. And that is used to establish a tier which gives an indication of the resources required to support the unlimited user. So that tier will have a pricing to it and can be adjusted at any time to reflect the actual usage in your license fee. Second question, somebody, you're gonna love that one, Will. Somebody is asking some differences between Sage 300 and Acumatica. You wanna take that on?
Yeah, I'll take that one. I mean, that's the idea of kind of this call, is to just to let our clients that we've had for a very long time have been very well supported on Sage 300 that are interested in you know, investigating other options for the future of their business. And you know, we were the same. We looked out in the industry at many products. We wanted to find a truly cloud-based product, or a product that offers cloud-based, and that the interface is modern, and you know, no locally installed software on a laptop or whatever required, and gave you some options. So with Sage 300, you can put it on a private cloud, you know, a Windows server and database server somewhere, and access it from remote. But typically you're kind of tied to a terminal services or remote desktop type access where you're logging in. You may be able to do it through a browser with some things that Microsoft has come out with. So you can have a browser access, but it's still kind of remote desktop into a Windows desktop. Acumatica, only accessible via any device at anywhere at any time. What I mean by that is the browser is your access point, or the mobile device is your access point. Acumatica, you log into a web page, it's secure, it's reliable, it provides, you know, you can do single sign-on, it's got multi-factor authentication, and if you have an iOS or Android device, it comes with that app too for free. So you can be on both, a tablet, a phone, or your laptop or MacBook from a browser, and you can be authenticated with your phone for additional security if you want to add that feature. So really, like they say, access from any device, anywhere at any time. So that's key to simplification, and anything that's on the browser, you'll be able to do on the phone or the tablet. It really is seamless between the two. Mike, we mentioned in the presentation that it's unlimited users. So that's not just Sage 300, but many products. That's a true differentiator. So based on, as Mike said, your transaction levels, you can have everybody in the company, you can have your customers come into a limited login and see their invoices, pay their invoices, create new orders. Vendors can come in. If you're in the contract edition, you can have things like RFQs go out to vendors and they can respond directly through the system. If you need to do a change order and that sort of thing. So it's very flexible in that sense. We wanted it to have all the features of Sage 300, as Paul showed, not just accounting, but sales, purchasing, inventory control. It has all that and more, where some other cloud products from Sage and other really don't necessarily have the full breadth of capability. And Acumatica even includes things that for Sage 300, we have to add a lot of third-party ISVs for. Talking about, workflow and alerts, document management, AP automation, asset accounting. I mentioned the mobile, EFT and payments, e-commerce integration. Even if you use Salesforce as your CRM, through the Acumatica CRM, you can connect it directly to Salesforce. No complex and costly integration. So, and there's more. Those are a few things. You do own your data. It is a SQL database. It's not like some cloud systems where you're kind of beholden to the vendor and your data is locked in there. And if you ever wanted to get out, you get a million spreadsheets that are disconnected. You can do a SQL dump and have all your data, so you're never really there. But the application is loaded either through Acumatica on the Acumatica cloud, which is on Amazon in Canada if you're a Canadian client, secure and reliable. You could have it on a private cloud, be it Amazon, AWS, or Azure, or another private cloud provider. And in some cases, you could even install it locally if you didn't have internet access. But really, the 95 or more % of the clients are either on the Acumatica cloud or a private cloud, and they're really pushing everybody to go that way. But it's a different model, and it's just better than having that terminal service access. And the only other thing I would say, well, not the only other thing, but one of the other key things is just the future of Acumatica, the things they're adding with every release. It is the focus of the company. They're spending huge amounts of their revenue on development. Every release has so much more. So I think those are some of the reasons why we chose it. And if you're interested, we can provide more information, a detailed demonstration, and just give you more info. Just let us know.
Thanks,
so
Will.
long-winded answer, but there's a lot of things to cover when you talk about, switching an accounting system is a big deal, and we don't take it lightly, but we think we chose the best product in the industry for our clients if they want to move.
Those good points, Will. In fact, one of them is probably the key one for me. And don't get me wrong, I've been very comfortable talking about Sage 300 that says it integrates with the best third-party solutions out there. But when you're talking about, I need a CRM, I need deferred revenue and expenses, I need all these simple things that are basically simple. They're all there already with Acumatica. You don't have to go shop.
Yeah,
That's
natively. I didn't mention even things like Procore integration or sales, Shopify or Amazon web store integration or BigCommerce. They're just connectors already built into the product, so they're very easy to turn on and connect to. You can.
Paul, I've got one for you.
Show a lot of that. Yep.
Sorry, Paul, I've got one for you. Of course, we mentioned that the solution can be installed on public or private cloud, and that hints that even on-premise is possible. But what would be the advantages of having it hosted by Acumatica?
Yeah, one of the best things about having Acumatica hosted is it's truly available everywhere. And we are taking advantage of all the security and horsepower that Amazon Web Services provides. So whether you're in Canada, in the States, traveling, on the golf course, you have access to your data really anywhere.
And even support at any time through Acumatica too, right, Paul?
That's a good point. Yep.
Yep, good point. Question here, I'll take that one on because I've had to answer it before. Does the payroll solution support the Canadian and specifically Quebec particularities, especially in the construction industry? And yes, a bilingual Canadian solution, which understands, for example, the Quebec specific union codes and rules, CCQ, CSST, ROEs, and T4. So yes, absolutely ready for the Canadian market. There's one more question, and it has to do with implementation. How much of an effort, how big of an effort would be to switch system? And I'm tempted to throw that one at Paul.
Well, that would be a tough one for me to tell you from the Sage side, because I just don't have a lot of experience there. But the implementation for Acumatica is really not a heavy lift. You saw most of the screens are very easy to understand. The browsing is easy to get to any of the data. Loading data, things we didn't talk about. There's a lot of places to import data. So as you're moving data from old systems or legacy systems into Acumatica, there's a lot of mechanisms to do that. And because it is a SQL database, there's a lot of tools that are available to help, again, bring even more of that over.
For sure.
Well, maybe you have a little more experience on the Sage side that can help.
And our team knows the Sage 300 database inside out, and they know the Acumatica database, and they've been migrating people either in the past to Sage 300 and now going forward potentially out of Sage 300 into Acumatica. And there's definitely time required, and it's a chance to clean up your data. But once it's in Acumatica, that'll be part of our implementation plan. But then you have so much more capability to add unlimited, attributes and optional fields, to have workflows and alerts and documents stored right in the system. So it's a huge leap forward in capabilities that we see, and it's nothing that we haven't done before. So we'll scope that out. In some cases, we're going to have a fixed price implementation with some key components. If there's more complexity, we'll scope that out further, and there'll be an evaluation and a costing on how to do that. But it's not any different than when we would have migrated somebody to Sage 300 in the past from another system. You're doing the same process, it's just into a new system, and it's the back end technical setup, as Paul mentioned. If you're on Amazon, it's hosted by Acumatica and managed by them. So all that work is taken care of. We just start with bringing the data over, making sure it's clean, and showing you how you can use it even better. So I think that's a key feature of a modern system like that. And then plugging it into other data sources, like Paul said, very easy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Will, and thank you, Paul. We appreciate your time. This concludes our session. We hope you found it interesting and informative. By the way, we're making some very nice headway in Eastern Canada, and DNA is thrilled to take advantage of our 30+ years in the business to help small and medium businesses take advantage of this leading cloud-based SaaS solution. So feel free to reach out to us to discuss any specific needs or any questions you may have, and we'll help you determine if this solution might be good for you. Je vous invite à nous contacter si vous avez des questions ou souhaitez jeter un coup d'œil plus profond à Acumatica. En vous remerciant de votre présence, on vous souhaite une bonne journée. Again, thank you for attending, and have a great rest of day. I don't think anybody's ever questioned an early finish to a webinar, so enjoy the extra time.
I'll add, Mike, I'll just add that the recording will come out probably in the next day. You'll be sent a recording of this presentation.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Bonne journée.